Hi, this is Miss Jilly Starr again, and I'm back with another reading. At the traditional seminar of Islamic youth at the Begavhan Mosque in Sarajevo in early September 2005, the World Islamic League, aka Rabita of Saudi Arabia, conditioned its donation of significant funding for projects in the Raska region of Serbia on the ability of the Wahhabi movement to use the religious buildings there. In January and February 2006 alone, Rabita has directed some €150,000 to its projects in Raska. The money came from accounts in Mecca and Munich, from where it was transferred to Vienna, arriving to Serbia through a branch of Societe Generale in Novi Pazar. Regional prosecutors in Sarajevo and Zenica opened investigations in 2007 into possible embezzlement charges against the Muslim Cherub Merhamet, Merhamet, including the allegations of financial aid to the Wahhabi movement in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Merhamet allegedly funded Wahhabi organizations and several individuals. Now, in Kosovo and Metohija, the U.S. Department of State and the Central Intelligence Agency have been stationed in Kosovo and Metohija since 1999. Both organizations have been monitoring the illegal financial flows into the province, especially funding used for illegal purchase of arms and equipment for terrorist groups in Kosovo and Metohija. The money that comes in originates basically from Saudi Arabia, where specific individuals courier gold coins and jewelry. Then they are then sold and converted into local currency and channeled through predetermined NGOs. American members of KFOR arranged a seminar for the high-ranking officials of the Kosovo Police Service in April 2007, covering Wahhabis in Kosovo. During the seminar, American representatives asserted that Wahhabism is on the rise in Kosovo, and that in 5 years Kosovo would become the most significant stronghold of this Islamic sect in Europe. According to them, the greatest concentration of Wahhabis is around Prizren, Prizren. A report published by provisional authorities in Kosovo Tokyo in January 2007 acknowledged the rising of the presence of Wahhabis and other Islamic factors in the province. Organizations connected to funding of Islamic extremism in Kosovo and Tokyo are basically Iranian, analysts claim. One is called Al-Islamiyah and the World Assembly of Muslim Youth, WAMY Heritage Society in Pristina. The man Othman A.O.A.L., last name A.L.H.A.D.A.R., used to run several charities in Kuwait associated with the Kuwait Aid Committee, aka Dar al-Bir, in the United Arab Emirates, and another man, Yahya al-Turas, and the World Islamic Charity. These people were investigated by S4 and Eurofor in 2005 on suspicion of sending volunteers from Kosovo, Metohija, and Albania to Iraq to fight America. And as far as Albania is concerned, interest in the presence of radical Islam in Albania and its connection with the authorities was reawakened on April 11, 2007, with a broadcast of a show called F.I. Fix Fair on state television. The show publicized documents indicating that Abdul Latif Saleh, a close associate of Osama bin Laden, was given Albanian citizenship there in Albania in 1992 at the personal assistance of the then present Prime Minister Salih Berisha. Saleh, a Jordanian-owned construction companies called Mac Albania and Cement Albania, which were both used to launder money from Saudi businessman named Yassin Kadi Karavan, with a strong association with Tehran. In 2000, Saleh was deported from Albania on suspicion of Al-Qaeda connection, and his bank account in Tehran was frozen after an attempt of him to withdraw €2.4 million. There were also numerous indications that several Islamic charities were abusing their activities in Albania to support terrorism. Additionally, the government of Albania investigates allegations about their work solely because of obligations to the United States. In April 2006, Albania Anti-Laundering Money Department froze 63 bank accounts valued at around €4 million used for money laundering and support for terrorism in Albania. Albania's Minister of the Interior issued a special order of Arab origin that came back to Albania to vacation with them. Albanian Minister of Finance, Ridvan Bode, signed several decrees in 2006 of July seizing accounts and assets of many individuals and Islamic charities in Albania. Among those seizures were the accounts and properties of Yassin Al-Qadi, Abdul Latif Saleh, Taliban International, and Al Haramain. You probably have seen this visit on this band charity in Bosnia and Herzegovina because I posted it myself several times because Darko Trifunovic, my former boss at the United Nations, a Serbian diplomat, had pictures of it himself. He took himself. At the same time, the Anti-Money Laundering Directorate began investigating Ahmed Ibrahim, Al-Naga, Hamia Abu Rajan, David Hicks, Nabal Abdel Sayadi, and a person, Patricia Rosa Vinicki, of the Global Relief Foundation. One account was frozen, and Revival of Islamic Heritage Society, 4 accounts were frozen because of activities relating to terrorism. In 2007, a high court in Tirana overruled the decision to seize the accounts and assets of the Albanian International Investment Fund for lack of evidence that it took part in funding terrorism. Emboldened by the decision, Yassin Al-Qadi appealed the Ministry of Finance's decision to seize his assets, almost €4 million, over the past 5 years. However, investigators at the High Crimes Division, HCD, in Tirana have managed to partially uncover a new system of terrorism funding. Assets in peril of seizure and charges of aiding terrorism were turned over to administrators in Albania, who had then channeled the assets back to their original owner. Al-Qadi's administrator in Albania was Jordanian Hamza Abu Rayyan. At the request of HCD, a court in Tirana ordered the seizure of Abu Rayyan's passport on April 3, 2007, until an investigation into laundering the proceeding of criminal activities could be concluded. Many charities close to the Islamic terrorist organizations in Albania recover from seizures by reestablishing themselves under new management and names, something like Katovic, going from country to country using diplomatic immunity as a CIA for Al-Qaeda cover, as it did in New York at the United Nations. He was Osama bin Laden's international arms trader for 9/11, working with me at the Bosnian mission and my boss, Darko. I see he's working at Rutgers University now, and nobody seems to care. Good luck with that. On April 3rd, 2007, until an investigation of money laundering, the proceedings of criminal activities could be concluded. Many charities close to the Islamic organizations. I just said that. No, I didn't. It's late here, almost 1 in the morning. Close to the Islamic terrorist organizations recover from the seizure by reestablishing themselves under new management and foundation. There are currently 80 religious associations and foundations operating in Albania with accounts throughout the country in banks such as Arab Albanian Islamic Bank and Bank of Malaysia, Fefeda Bank, and Dardania Bank. 5 foundations have been outlawed because of proven links with terrorism in Albania, including, again, the one in Bosnia and Herzegovina, affiliated with Katovic, who's here in the United States, teaching after confessing to being a part of 9/11, sent out of the country, person non grata, because he was a diplomat working at the Bosnian mission with me. And he's been here for the last 20 years, right back at it, now teaching at Rutgers University as an IMAN in wherever Rutgers exists. And he's been here for 20 years. Ridiculous. And the CIA wants to think of themselves as impressive. I think their record with terrorism is horrifying and scary. That's why I'm leaving the country too. I don't want to be around when New York was. 5 foundations also were outlawed in Albania recently because of proven links with terrorism. And again, one of them was Al Harriman, World Islamic Relief Organization, Revivals of Islamic Heritage Society, Mawafaq, and Al Faqih. Conclusion is there is evidentially, obviously, that Al Qaeda established well in the territory of southern Europe and the Balkans, fully operational, especially in Albania, with financial networks and logistics for the operations of making them in Albania a financial community and epicenter of Al Qaeda terrorism in the region. A financial committee has the task to provide the network's funding. Fundraising methods differ from place to place around Albania and Kosovo, but rely mainly on accounts directly or indirectly available to Osama bin Laden when he was alive, and now his colleagues have left, and the funds provided through a wide array of networks of humanitarian organizations, unquote, which use their charities as a cover for fundraising and recruitment of future terrorists. The committee is also in charge of money transfers. One of its methods is the Hawala system, where money and other commodities are transferred directly without the involvement of banks. Since transactions are virtually impossible to trace, basic funding derives primarily from the production and distribution of narcotics. Again, poppy fields in Afghanistan, specifically heroin, which is produced in Afghanistan and distributed to Western Europe and U.S. markets through a sophisticated network, of which one reason why so many Albanians want a shortcut right through Albania and into Europe itself. And NATO was all too given to let them have it. One Kosovan Albanian was recently arrested in Bakovo border crossing between Croatia and Serbia and Montenegro in possession of 48 grams of heroin. By and large, Kosovo Albanians are not Islamic fanatics, but as heroin smugglers, they are an important link to Al Qaeda's chain. Profits from the heroin trade are also very difficult to trace. Funds in this manner obtained are put to use in pursuit of Islamic fanatics' darkest aims elsewhere. Al Qaeda and other organizations act locally in Kosovo and throughout Albania, but think globally. For example, the newly established Islamist terror organization LIDO, whose striking fist is the Uzbekistan Islamic movement, is pursuing the plan for establishing Islamic states and eventually the Caliphate in Central Asia, funded and aided by the financial and military committees of Al Qaeda.